anxious, worried. That stuff is all in your body. For me, the only way to get into this moment was to get out of my mind. I looked at meditation probably the way that you look at CrossFit.
So how long do you meditate?
I'll recognize that thing. I usually feel it in my body.
Do you check your phone before you meditate? When you move too fast, and I'm guilty of that.
There's a lot of what you actually like about working out is actually the state that you put your body in where you have to breathe as much as you do.
I tell people all the time, it's all in your head.
I had a lot of trauma as a child, suffered a lot of intense abuse, and as a result of that PTSD, I just kind of like separated from my body because, that kind of physical abuse is in your body and your brain will just kind of separate from it, so you don't have to experience that stuff that same way. It's very common for people in trauma, and in doing that, I just really disconnected from my body. I didn't value it, I didn't pay attention to it, I didn't pay attention to aches and pains, I didn't pay attention to what I ate. My body was not a part of my consideration of what I was doing day to day. And but that cycle of trauma and how you feel depressed, stressed, anxious, worried, that stuff is all in your body. You think that it's created by your mind, but it's really, you feel all of those things in your body. It stores there, it kind of activates there sometimes your brain is totally at rest and your body will start to create stress because it's just how it's used to operating. So I had to actually pay attention to my body. And for me to learn to get in touch with my body, because I ignored it for so long, I had to find ways to slow down and listen to it. But first I had to understand why I was doing it. Why was I meditating? It's because I needed to understand my body. I needed to pay attention. I also needed to get out of the moments that were in my head, which were usually future or past. They weren't right now. They weren't about this moment and what I'm sharing with someone or the decisions I'm making. It was about what's going to be the outcome in a year, good or bad, stressful or blissful, thinking about some outcome that makes me feel good or thinking about some outcome that makes me feel bad. I wasn't often in this moment. And this is the moment you have to operate in. So if you're always in the future and you're always in the past, you're missing most of what should be happening right now. And for me, the only way to get into this moment was to get out of my mind and put those thoughts to the side and feel and experience the present moment. And that's really what meditation is about. Feeling and experiencing this moment and being able to accept it for what it is, good or bad, then you can actually make really present decisions about what's happening right now. But normally, our American mindset, our business mindset, is just about making decisions for the future. And you normally drive through this moment without experiencing it, without remembering it. You run over people, you say things that are hurtful, or you miss opportunities. There's things you're not paying attention to when people are opening doors for you to build relationship with them, et cetera. You just miss it, whether it's your wife or your kids or somebody at your business. And so I had to realize that that's not how I wanted to live. And in order to live the way I wanted to, I had to get in touch with this moment, and my body is what grounds me to this moment. And so knowing that there was a purpose, a powerful purpose behind meditation, then I was willing to try it. And I looked at meditation probably the way that you look at CrossFit. Like, we are probably different complements of on the other side of the scale. I wanted to train my body and my mind and my heart how to be the person that I wanted to be. And so I've probably gone into that as aggressively as you've gone into CrossFit.
So how long do you meditate? And what's the process?
It sort of depends on the day. It depends on what I'm experiencing, but I would say on the average day, probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour.
So describe the process. What exactly you do?
So for me, the most powerful meditation that I do is I sit somewhere comfortable, where I can stay seated for a long time. I kind of sit in the traditional meditation position. And
which is like all starts lotus, they call it, like?
Yeah, for me, I can't get into that position very well because of my legs, but basically just crisscross applesauce on the floor. Usually I'll sit on a little pillow or something so I can stay there more comfortably. And
morning or evening?
It depends on the day, but usually morning. Okay. And I start with breathing, because really our breath is really our whole life.
Sure.
It's what operates everything in our body.
Sure.
And so I usually just start with my breath and focus on my breathing, bring my body down, calm down, let my mind go to sleep by actually focusing on my breath, what it feels like, what it sounds like, what my body is doing in the moment. And usually from there, there'll be some version of visualization, thinking about the way that I've been feeling, recognizing it, recognizing my emotions leading up to that moment or that morning or the night before or yesterday at work, feeling what those things are, trying to understand why I was feeling that, the motives of the people around me, just kind of processing that information, because normally you're holding on to that. And so it's hard to move from this moment to the next because you're carrying something that's not resolved from previous moments. So I'll resolve those things and let them go. Somebody said something to me at work or whatever that I didn't like, that's like hurt my feelings or made me angry or whatever. I'll recognize that thing, and I usually feel it in my body. Like I feel offense in my shoulder. Somebody's offended me. I feel like I'm carrying something, or somebody hurt my feelings. I feel it in my heart or whatever. And so I recognize those feelings and I process them and I let them go so that I can get back into this moment without worrying about yesterday. And once I do that, then I start to think about today and what I want to do.
Do you check your phone before you meditate?
I try not to, no. I rarely check my phone.
So guys, I want to take a quick break here. So I want you to understand, like, this is Roofing Insights, channel for roofers. This guy runs what, $30 million company. We talk about meditation. Let that thing. I mean, I would say probably 95, 98% of people completely checked out already, like, what the heck? But here's the thing. I've seen so many people making horrible mistakes. I'm talking about stuff that leads to business failure, OSHA violations. When you move too fast, and I'm guilty of that. When you don't stop to think, people tell me all the time, I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to do this. I see them on the Facebook all the time. Like, go watch, like, good test for you. If you have time in your life for meditation, check out your screen time, how much time you spend on Facebook, on your apps. And I guarantee you, 90% of you will find at least 30 minutes for this. Continue, please, sorry.
So I want to be able to let go of everything that I've been carrying, feeling, so that I can be in this moment and decide what I want the next few moments or the next few hours or the rest of the day to be like, and find intention for what I want to do with that time.
And in this moment, you are not like writing that. I don't meditate. Mm-hmm. But what I do is, like, I sit in the sauna.
I did offer you a meditation challenge where I would meditate with you.
And I'll accept it, but
okay. You heard it.
I'm accepting. What I do, here's my meditation. I do a lot of sauna, so I work out and then I go to the sauna, and actually I do a lot of writing. So I do like 45 minutes in sauna. I do cold plunge and I do sauna, and I'm just writing my thoughts, whatever. It's not meditation. I mean, sauna is kind of, yeah. But I'm getting my thoughts together for the day. I usually write content, or I'm thinking about where do I need it the most, because I juggle a lot of things too. And it's like me in a wooden box under the heat trying to...
Do you have your phone in there?
Sometimes I do, most times I don't. Sometimes I try to leave it out. So, but what's the challenge? Like, how do you do it? Like,
I mean, we really just have to sit down and do it. It's kind of difficult to explain, but a lot of what I found with people that I've meditated with, that have like just let go and had the experience and not worried about whether they thought it was going to work or not going to work, or whether they were going to be able to do it or not. Especially a lot of really fit people, I think what you start to discover is a lot of what you actually like about working out is actually the state that you put your body in, where you have to breathe as much as you do. In our normal life, we don't really breathe very fully. We don't experience it, we don't feel it, we don't pay attention to it.
I follow, what's his name, Hoff?
Wim Hof?
Wim Hof.
Yeah, I've done some of
like, breathe, that's scary stuff. You can take a couple deep breaths and you're about to faint. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've never thought about it.
I just did that like 2 months ago, and I did the whole breath work for like 40 minutes, and then you get in the ice. I tell
like people all the time, it's all in your head. Even here, we're doing this challenge, right? So you lift the shingle and you hold it, and you can see in people's faces if person have it or not. Like yesterday, I didn't. At minute 30, I thought that's it. I'm dropping. And I was like, no, I'm not dropping. I close my eyes and I stick there for another minute. Right. So it's crazy what your mind and body capable of if you really put it to it.
Totally, and you can get into a place with meditation that you feel.
But breathing too. A lot of athletes, they don't, in the Navy, they say slow is fast, fast is slow. What it really means, like if you have to do 100 reps, like imagine barbell, or back in the day, we were doing fittest roofer with a bundle of shingles. So you can lift 100 times bundle of shingle above it. So you can do it unbroken, and I can lift it and break it every time and take a deep breath in between. Right. I'm going way slower, but I'm gonna beat you. Yeah. Because after 20 reps, you're going to be exhausted, out of breath, and then going to keep going.
Yeah, because it's Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yes, absolutely. How do you start a meditation? Is it do you, besides breathing and thinking, what else? What other
So
components?
there's usually a visualization element where you're imagining something, and for a lot of people, or a lot of, like, you can use apps like Headspace. A lot of people use that app effectively to start their meditation journey.
Like with the music and stuff? Or
It's normally a
background?
guided meditation to tell you what to think or do. It might have a little prompt on the screen of what you should do next. But a lot of it's visualization, like imagining like a ball of light outside of yourself, and moving that light around inside out to outside of your body, or taking a deep breath and imagining that ball of light expanding and getting brighter, and breathing out and getting dimmer. And there's nothing powerful about this thing that you're imagining. It's really just giving your mind something to focus on so that your body can have its experience without fighting with your mind. It's not really about what you're imagining. That's sort of just kind of like a placeholder. There's nothing powerful about the light that you're imagining.
Sure.
But if you do it without questioning it and without thinking, why would I imagine that? Well, just do it, because a lot of people do it and they're telling you to just experience it, just try it. And you'll feel the benefits of letting your mind relax and release all that stuff that you've been carrying. There's such a mental load that we carry. Like, you've got your phone sitting on your knee, you had notes on it, but there's a weight that comes with that phone being there, of all the people in the world that can get a hold of you through that phone, all the things that you're supposed to do later today. You carry all of this mental and physical load of those things, and doing meditations and exercises like these allow you to just set all that stuff to the side and have a few moments of clarity and kind of reset your body chemistry, let go of all the stress hormones, bring in all the positive endorphins that you really need, and just kind of bring yourself back to a moment of balance, or what some people would say being centered. Being right where you're supposed to be, thinking what you're supposed to think, is really the most powerful place that you want to be. You don't really want to step outside of your strengths. You want to step outside of your intentions, the things that you value. You want to stay right in that spot where you're doing the things that are most effective for you to be doing. And when you don't take those moments to let go of all those little things, those things become urgent and they pull you out of what you really want. So you end up having a conversation with someone that's stressful or challenging or argumentative or whatever it is, because you carried this load of offense for them or frustration for them, and it just pulls you out of the place you want to be, where you're effectively accomplishing your goals and living your authentic self, where you're happy with who you are and everybody's happy with you. So if you don't take those moments to let all that stuff go, however you do it, then you're constantly getting pulled out of that, and you're answering to the urgent. Whatever is urgent in the moment, whatever is the most necessary to do, because this thing's about to break, or this person's about to quit, or my bill's late on this thing, or this build's going awry. You'll end up living always in those moments, and you won't actually be making the big steps forward. You're actually just running on a treadmill, getting really tired, but your life isn't really moving forward. Absolutely. Business owners get trapped in that really quick, because there's so many things that you could be doing. You've got to find a way to prioritize the top 3 things every day you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing anything else but those. No matter how urgent they are, you need to let somebody else handle them. And sometimes if there's a fire, sometimes it's better to let it burn down, whatever that thing is, and fix the thing that's in front of you that's important. Because if you fix that thing and don't do this over the long run, this is going to be a much bigger problem than that. But if you don't take time to center yourself, you're going to focus on the most urgent thing, and you're always going to be stressed out.